What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Yannis Pappas Hour. You know the deal. America's broken. Nothing is working. United Airlines, they had to ground all of their flights nationwide due to a computer issue. The 52 million airbags are being recalled in the U.S. Auto workers may strike. A pier collapsed in Wisconsin. A building in Davenport collapsed. Nothing works. It's broken. We got to call tech support to come and fix it. Does anyone got a wrench? A Delta flight was grounded as well because of another very tech issue called diarrhea all over the place. I don't know why that doesn't happen often, but just like the lady who saw ghosts and ran off the plane, another crazy person just decided to run and have the runs. It was a run. The person just had diarrhea all over a Delta flight. I got Delta miles. Does that hurt your gold status if you diarrhea all over the plane? Did they make a deduction? Can I still use the lounge? Burning Man got put out. It was burning, and everyone was on Molly, and then it rained on a bunch of tech geeks. Big whoop. My question is, what was Chris Rock doing there? Isn't there an under 60 clause at Burning Man? Chris Rock was at Burning Man with Diplo. Just get another wife, Gramps. What are you doing? What are you doing at fucking Burning Man? Get back to the hotel for a warm bath and a buck. That's what you need to be doing. YouTube will get you out of a ban if you have a YouTube infraction, if you take the YouTube re-education class. So, no more Big Mike videos. A new Texas law says that drunk drivers, if they kill the adults and the children in a drunk driving accident, they have to pay child support to the children for the rest of their lives for killing their parents in a drunk driving accident. So that's a weird way to find out you got a new godfather. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour, where news is correct every single time, because it's on a paper plate.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and there's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Get this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day.
Before we start, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. Football is back. Ain't nothing funner than putting a little juice on a football game. Back in full swing, thank the good Lord. So get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now and use the code YPH to sign up. New customers can bet just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code YPH. There's two ways, I guess, to have to pay child support. One of them is you go to court with a lady and she takes you to the cleaners. Another way is to kill someone's parents. You kill their parents, and now you got to pay child support. That seems unfair. And how do you do that if you're in jail? How many do children's tuitions take license plates? How are you going to pay for a child's tuition in Texas? Texas has some strange laws. Okay, so that's a new Texas law that requires a convicted drunk driver to pay child support if they kill the guardian or child. So it doesn't even have to be your real parent. Kill the parent or the guardian. It could just be a guardian. You could just say, hey, this is my friend Mike from the block. He looks after me once in a while. And Mike could be like, yeah, give me $100 a month. I was watching the kid. It's known as Bentley's Law, which was first filed on November 14th of last year. It's a new law. So my question is, do they go to prison or they just got to pay child support? Can they still go eat barbecue and hang out and just go, damn it, you know, not only do I got to pay Uncle Sam, I got to pay for this freaking Rickerson boy. And lo and behold, you know, he's not good enough to get a scholarship and anything, so I got to pay for his state school. Thank God he didn't go to a private one. Listen, if you kill my parents in Texas, if I grew up in Texas, let me just give you a hypothetical, right? If I grew up in Texas, and you kill my parents, I am God for sure going to make sure I go to the most expensive schools and have the worst drug habits. I'm going to make your life a living misery. You're going to be paying child support like you don't understand, my friend. Okay, you killed my parents like Batman, we got a problem in the Lone Star State. I'm going to Duke. I don't care how hard I got to work, what Chinese guy I got to cheat off of. I'm going to Duke. And you're paying 50, 60 grand a year. All right, so start making license plates and figure out a way to win the lotto. I mean, I don't understand this. They go to prison, right? Because you killed parents. It's at least manslaughter, second degree. So, I mean, where's the money going to come from? What if you get hit by, I don't know, a Walmart worker or some guy who works the cashier at Buc-ee's? We're in Texas. Buc-ee's is something you got to see. It's a Texas like mega store. People in Texas are really, really, really fat. That's why they love their guns, dog, because they can't. Fights are really. I box now. You get winded after 3 seconds in boxing, and that's not even the adrenaline when you're fighting somebody else. I mean, when you're 500 pounds, you have oxygen for 1.5 seconds in Texas, bro. Yeah, what if you get hit by a Walmart worker? You know? I love, Jon Stewart made a good point about Walmart, that he made a good point about corporations, how they reap all the profits but without any of the risk. So like all the employees, like Walmart's employees are the biggest recipient of like state assistance, like government assistance, because they get paid so low. So it's like, their workers are able to like show up like with 2 legs because the government's just like allowing them to pay them whatever, $8 an hour. You know, they hire a bunch of special kids and they go, can you know, and forget it when AI comes in and it's just like, you just ask a robot, now they got the robots that walk. You ever go to the supermarket and those like, it's so funny how far we've come in robotics. You see those commercials of Boston Dynamics doing the dog robots and people robots and sex dolls and fleshlights and things to that nature. And then you look at the supermarket robot. Have you seen the supermarket robot who's just like this big, and they just actually like, they stuck like googly eyes, like kid eyes on it.
Yeah.
And it's just like this long pole and it just walks around and looks at stuff and it knows how to stay away from, shoppers, as if they couldn't hire some 100 IQ American to walk around with his Coke bottle glasses and see if we need to restock yogurt. They hire this guy, who my daughter loves, by the way. My daughter's always like, where's the robot? She wants to see the robot. But look at how freaking Back to the Future 1983 this robot is in 2023.
Yeah.
We actually have a robot in the supermarket that just goes around and it looks like it's from Weird Science in 1981.
It looks like a Roomba with a pole on it.
Yeah, I mean, it just looks like an air purifier. Looks like an air purifier.
Now, what does this do?
It just looks around and sees what shelves need to be stocked.
It does inventory.
It does inventory. It walks around, and it's funny because it like sees you and moves around you. So it's like, is that what we're doing now? We're taking it, like we're not giving a job to a guy? Like how greedy are these corporations that they're like, we can save one salary by getting this stupid slow robot to just slowly turn around. Can you hire one fucking who needs the money, pay him half price to go say if we need more Doritos in aisle 4? We need more pull-up overnight diapers in aisle 7. Is it that hard?
Well, this thing doesn't steal.
Go to my brother's school and hire one of them half price. I think he gets $3 an hour to work at a paper store. My brother works at a paper store, okay? It's like The Office, but everyone's drooling.
Oh, no.
It's my brother.
Yeah, this thing never calls in sick.
But he doesn't get paid minimum wage. There's a deal with the school. They say, hey, can you occupy these guys for a couple hours without them getting paper cuts? And they feel good about themselves. My brother comes home, $15 a week or something like that. It's great. It's good for 2 couple Subway sandwiches for lunch.
I was going to ask, what does he buy?
I don't know. And he probably gets paid more than that. But I mean, like, what is this, man? What is this robot thing? And what they do is they paste the like toy eyes on it. So it looks like so kids go, wow, there's a robot. My daughter loves the robot at the supermarket.
Why isn't it branded? Why isn't it
I don't know. I'm shopping in the suburbs. I don't want to chew on a gun. I miss bodegas.
Yeah.
There's no robots.
They don't have this at Trader Joe's.
No, they don't have it at I love Trader Joe's. I love Trader Joe's. You like Trader Joe's because you like a good discount and you're a real granola bar. You can walk in there with your rubber fucking shoes.
Half
You look
the
like
price.
it's half the price of everything. You look like you just got off a flight from Denver, Colorado, and it's your first time leaving Colorado.
I'm addicted to these shoes. It's bad.
Of course you are. There's no other explanation for why you'd be wearing them. It's like saying, why do you do crack? It's like, I'm addicted.
I'm addicted. They're too good. They're
Yeah.
too comfortable.
They're too comfortable till a woman goes, it's going to take the truth of a child to change your mind. When the truth goes, Mommy, who's the homeless person over there? Why does he have tires for shoes? It looks like you're wearing people tires.
They're so ugly.
Yeah, I'm going to take a picture of him and throw him on the gram. I'm up to 200,000. By the way, editorial retraction. We're the only news organization that will give you an editorial retraction when we're wrong. Apparently, and you know who pointed it out to me on Instagram? Was Titus. Remember the comedian Titus? He had a short-lived sitcom on Fox, Titus. And then I think he asked for more money and they were just like, no, you're not Seinfeld. Now your career's over.
Oh, no.
Now you're commenting on Yannis Pappas' Instagram. So he commented, he goes, they do have drag shows at Christopher Titus. They do have drag shows at old folks' homes, you dink. And I said, well, then everyone will support it, like I said in the clip, because that's what I said. I said, unlike a nightclub act for kindergartners, would you be in favor of a stand-up comedy show at your kid's kindergarten? Nobody would. Why are you Googling me now?
I was going to your Instagram.
Oh, going to my Insta to see his comment?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said verbatim. He said, they do have it, you dink.
What's a dink?
I don't know, some fucking shit. I mean, look, the guy's upset, and I understand. Can you go to the story? Because it's fun. Let's have a little fun with Christopher Titus, because he commented on my Instagram, so he asked for it. Just like Jay Moore when he stole Rob Shapiro's character, he asked for it. By the way, those nuptials have been consummated, and Jay Moore officially doesn't have roommates anymore. You can catch him at Soul Joel's, where he'll be flying on Jeannie Buss's private jet to Atlantic City Comedy Club for 1 show Thursday, 3 shows Friday, and 2 shows Saturday. Imagine being married to Jeannie Buss, basically a billionaire who runs the Lakers, and having to ticket a room at an improv. Anyhowsers, yeah, Christopher Titus. So what happened with Christopher Titus? I think he had a Fox sitcom. I already quoted what he said. It's,
Yeah.
So let's look. Christopher Titus had a Fox sitcom, I remember. And it was like, I think it was actually well rated. I think like he was going to do good. Here we go. Why did the show Titus get canceled? Top one. Show got canceled due to an argument with executives. They wanted to split up Titus and Aaron because the show Dharma and Greg had done similar and their ratings went up. So sometimes this works. Sometimes you fight for it. Like Chappelle's show fought for all those sketches that became the most popular, that Comedy Central was going, whoa, 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 we can't. Sometimes a show about nothing, you get it on the air and you just get complete control. And they probably said, why don't we try this? And Larry and Jerry were probably like, F you, we're going to do it our way. And it works. Sometimes it works. But when you're Christopher Titus, sometimes it backfires on you. The executives go, you know what? You're not making us that much money that we're going to listen to what you do. We're actually giving you a suggestion because we wanted to get better ratings. And you lose it. That's why I remember hearing this story that he kind of like shot himself in the foot and the show got canceled. And that's how it works sometimes in showbiz, babe. And listen, I'm not knocking it. Because listen, I'm recording my podcast out of my old apartment. But, you can catch Christopher Titus at the Funny Bone and you can catch him in the Blue Room, which I'll be this weekend. He was just at the Blue Room. And I will be there this coming weekend in Springfield, Missouri. And click for tickets, meaning that there's still tickets. And there's still tickets for me. I'm flying in on a Thursday so they can make me do radio. This is the type of thing I know my agent's nervous because I don't know why. Why are we doing it? Springfield, Missouri, they don't come out. Everyone who goes there is just fucking, they got to give away. Dan Soder went there. They tried to raffle off Matt Rife tickets if you went to see Dan Soder. So Christopher Titus says, but he is doing some theaters. Look at that. Texas Theater, Hobby Center. Yeah, I mean, he's doing it. I mean, he's still a big comic. Look at that. Minneapolis Theater. Wilbur Theater, which I just did. I love you. I love you, Christopher Titus. I hope we don't have a problem. Okay? Listen, here's the deal. I love drag queens. I'm just saying, Christopher Titus, I just think that maybe we just stick to the 1, 2, 3s, ABCs, and just let the teachers read to the kids. How about that? How about that? Because drag shows started in nightclubs. That's where they belong. It's like doing comedy in an open park. It's not a good idea for people to hear it who didn't pay for it. Comedy's in a nightclub. You want to go see stand-up, pay, and it's at night, and you have to be 18 and over. What does Trump have in Republican? Okay, so he's a big, I don't even know why, it's not getting him anywhere.
Oh, he went all politics.
Oh, yeah, he's big. Oh, yeah. That's why he commented on my thing, because it's his shtick.
Yeah.
It's his shtick. Oh, yeah, you're the weasel. What does Trump have on Republicans? To my Republican Trump countrymen.
Dude, you can't let politics take over.
The four horsemen, the Trump apocalypse.
Jesus.
Democrats versus Republicans. This is why I'm a Democrat. When did we drop our standards for leaders? When did comedians become partisan politicians and thought leaders? Oh, that's what happened. He's pulling the old Bill Maher. Okay. So that's why he saw that. He was like, I'm going for it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to knock this Republican, even though I'm not Republican. He just saw it and he's like, this is your brand now. I get it. You got a brand. You're the Democrat. You're a Democrat. Congratulations. The comedy's always good when someone can lead with what they are. I'm a Republican comedian. Hey, I'm this type of comedian. It's always the best. Louis C.K.'s funny, but I didn't think he was funny until he came out and he said in his show, I am a liberal Republican, Democrat. If I don't know what your political affiliation is, I'm not listening. I'm not listening. Anyway, it wasn't, I don't even think we don't have a scuff up. We got no beef. I'm just saying maybe we should start a show, Christopher Titus, like Crossfire back in the day. Tucker Carlson. Remember he was on Crossfire with the other guy, the other Weasley guy, and they would be the Republican and the Democrat. And they did that for ratings. And they go, well, school shootings, we should regulate guns. Oh, no, but a gun can only stop a bad guy. And they just went, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Welcome to the Right versus Left show. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Now, and they used to talk about issues, and they would sit down, and there was a show with the Republican Democrat. Now, Tucker Carlson's he's on the NWO of Twitter, and he's interviewing the guy who's claiming to have sex with Barack Obama. Now, this guy was around a long time ago. Now, all these Barack Obama conspiracies, they're really, I think the chef dying in the 2 feet of water has sparked a lot of conspiracies. It is a little weird that a guy drowns going to swim by himself in like a lake or a pond or something like that. I don't know what his swimming status was, but it was his African-American chef, right? Sometimes African-Americans, they don't continue to advance swimming lessons. Let's just say that. But I don't know. But since then, there's fun conspiracies that was Obama's gay lover, and that's why he was killed. Do we know the status of that chef? Was he gay? Did he have a wife?
Yeah, he had a couple of kids.
He had a couple kids. Okay, so but that's not evidence that he wasn't in a gay relationship. Yeah, nothing is evidence data cannot change. Michelle Obama, I've seen pictures of her pregnant, but listen, a lot of people she's Big Mike. And that's what it is. And look, I'm not saying she's not. How am I supposed to know? It could have been a doctored picture of her pregnant. I don't know. The only way we're going to find out is if we pull down her trousers and take a peek. Does she got a mud puddle or does she's got a dog? Are we talking about a beef jerky or are we talking about a fun bun? What do you got, Michelle? It's important. Americans need to know so they can figure out their health care and their mortgage. They got to know. What's the first lady? A guy. As Jason Rouse would say, I'm fooled. Oof. Okay, so Tucker Carlson is doing hard-hitting stuff like this now. Now, I messages to you, and you actually had like a moment of sadness for this country a little bit. You were like, I'm sad that this is a news story. So, because when you look at who this guy is, now let's take a peek of the guy. Because he's let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. Yeah, let's just take a quick list then. Let me guess. Hold on first before you start it. Hi, Tucker. First of all, I want you to say, I really appreciate that you're the only one picking up this story. And I know it's important because you don't have Moderna as a sponsor. You don't have a bunch of sponsors. You got nobody to answer to. It's just you and Elon free speaking against the world. Now, I know Elon might have lost his mind because his daughter went ultra woke. It happens to everyone in Park Slope and Brooklyn Heights as well. Did you hear about that? So Elon Musk has a daughter who got really woke. So I think that has something to do, first of all, I think he first struggled to remember her name. And he was like, are you Tiffany again? And he's like, did I make you who's your mom? And then she was like, it's not about that, okay? That's a partner, love insemination. My name is 65379. You called me code 1. And I am a non-binary, trans, Nazi, liberal mafia member. And he, I always want to know what the true motivation is behind why people do what they do. And I'm not saying that that's why he started X and started, wiling out with free speech. And let's be honest, lean into the right hard. Let's just call a spade a spade. Elon's leaning to the right hard. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I'd say he's leaning to the right hard. And he's definitely given some air to some conspiracies. I remember one he threw up there that he took it down. I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was the Nancy Pelosi's husband one, where he was like, that is a good question. And it happens to be all on body cam and stuff like that. But who knows? Who knows? Maybe Paul Pelosi was having an affair. People are really, who knows? Maybe every person who makes six figures is just a, what's the word I'm looking for? Is a deviant. Maybe once you get to 6 or 7 figures, you're a deviant. Maybe everyone in power is a deviant. I don't know because I don't have power, thank God. But I'm miserable. So maybe it's fun and that's why they do it. I'm not, but probably not. I think it's probably not that Paul Pelosi was having a gay affair with this guy. And then the guy, hit him with something in the head?
Hit him with a hammer.
Hit him with a hammer. I doubt that. I doubt it. He might have said, I'm sick of this fucking him pretending. There might have been that when the cops came in, what's going on? He was like, I'm waiting, looking for Nancy. He would have been like, I'm fucking sick of this. Okay, Paul is still fucking prancing around San Francisco, asking he doesn't go to the, whatever it's called, the Old Dollar. What's that part of town? He doesn't go to the Orange District and fucking leather dance with me. And I fucking had enough, Mr. Police Officers. I'm gonna bash his brains with this fucking hammer. We didn't hear any of that. It just looked like a deranged guy who was lost in internet culture. Internet culture is warping people's brains. It's a guy who spent a little bit too much time having his mind warped, watching something, probably a bunch of insinuations from the Tim Pool podcast. He'll be like this. He'd be like, we're white, we're losing this country, but I'm a liberal. Grab your guns, prepare for the race war. But I'm a liberal person. I'm a liberal. Underneath this beanie hat is a socially conscious, granola munching, Center City, Philadelphia lib. But make sure you got 2 AR-15s. Okay? Make sure you got 10. Why? Because the government is about to attack your living room and the race war is coming. But I'm a Democrat. I voted for Obama. People who, that's very funny if you know what Tim Pool is. It's the old switch. I'm tempted to do it every episode. Right? Because the libs ain't checking it on this.
No.
No, the libs ain't watching this. The libs are going, what? Did he say what? There shouldn't be drag queens in fucking kindergarten? Nazi to the right. Right? So I'm tempted every day to go, listen, what's really going on with Big Mike's dick? What are we talking about here? The problem is we got a fascist Biden crime family. Okay? This is the problem. Is nobody is looking at Nancy Pelosi and her deals with North Korea. Welcome to the Yannis Pappas Hour on the Daily Wire, where I will get paid. And I will, you should have seen me on Fox. I mean, when I was on Fox with Vivek, I was like, I'm voting for you. I was like, Hillary Clinton's bad. I just went all in. I was like, are you guys going to give me a check? I'll take the check.
Really?
Guys, football is back, and there's nothing funner than putting a little scratch on a game. Guess who's got your back? DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings is the best. Me and Jesse use DraftKings to bet on games. We talk about it in the group chat, and look at what they're doing for you. They are, first of all, the official sports betting partner of the NFL. And listen, new customers can bet $5 on football and get $200 instantly in bonus bets. Nobody's missing out on the action this season. All DraftKings customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every game day this September. So, get in on the NFL Week 2 action with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app now. Use the code YPH to sign up. New customers can bet, like I said, just $5 and take home $200 instantly in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with the code YPH. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net in New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help us help. Gambling call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Google Casino and Resort KS. 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction. Oregon, Ontario. ccdkng.co/football for eligibility terms and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. So anyway, Tucker Carlson. I don't know how we got swayed from this. Oh, because I was saying, yeah, he's the gay lover, and then Paul Pelosi. So here he is. This is Obama, the one guy who's coming forward because he had jungle fever with our former president. And it's Tucker Carlson on X.
Pulled up in a bar outside, and there's this guy that's introduced to me as Barack Obama. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort, and next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking.
Oh,
I
he's
just started
cranking
rubbing
coke
my
too.
hand on his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go.
Even though you had sex with him twice, you did cocaine with him, watched him smoke crack twice, you had no idea who he was.
I had no idea who he was.
Let's ask the obvious question. What was Obama like on crack? Is it your sense that that's who Obama is? Just transactional, or that he's bisexual, or like what is that?
It definitely wasn't Barack's first time, and I would almost be willing to bet it wasn't Obama.
Because let me tell you something, he knew some tricks in the sack that none of the boys in the Chaz. What's the gay part of San Francisco called?
The Tenderloin?
I think so. I don't think it is, but it sounds like it. Where did this happen? Okay, so this is when he was in college at Occidental in California. So he's a crack smoker and a cocaine user who ended up going to where? Harvard or Yale or whatever?
Right.
Where did he end up graduating from?
I think Harvard Law, right?
Harvard Law, where, you know, a lot of people struggle with crack and then end up graduating from the most prestigious prestigious legal school in the country. Now, let's see if is there any merit to this? I like it. Don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying. I want him to be he went to Occidental, right, in California. Then he went to Columbia University. A big problem with crack there. And then after that, he graduated from Harvard Law School. So did Big Mike, apparently, is where they met and their gay love started. So this is Tucker Carlson. Now, I think there's got to be good info that he has that this is true, or else he wouldn't have, because Tucker Carlson never supports any conspiracy theories, and he's not about salaciousness. He's not about insinuation, innuendo, salaciousness at all. So what is the evidence? We got to look into the evidence. What's this guy's name?
You're looking at it. This is the evidence.
This is the evidence? Him?
Yeah. Him.
Come on. Can you go to something? Can we pull up the guy's name and see who he is? I think I texted you a whole Politico. This guy's been around for a little while. He didn't just emerge out of nowhere. So, wait, first let's watch this Tucker, because this one's good. Can we watch that? Because this is Tucker doing a little AOC, speaking to camera through his phone.
Obama had
had been having sex with men and smoking crack. And a guy came forward, Larry Sinclair, and said, I'll sign an affidavit. And he did. I'll take a lie detector. And he did. I smoked crack with Barack Obama and had sex with him. Well, that was obviously true. Nobody reported it, not because they were squeamish about sex or drugs, but because the Obama campaign said anyone who reports on this gets no access to the Obama campaign.
Oh.
And so they didn't report on it.
People wanted access.
So that happens. That's just one.
Wait a second, pause it.
Example, but that happens.
Because that's how our country works. The regime, the president can deny access to reporters. No, it's an open. You go in, your organization, right, is credentialed, and it goes in, and it gets press brief. You know. So Obama said, if anyone report, and that was enough to keep it quiet. If anyone reports in this, I'm not talking to you. If anyone reports on my crack, coke, gay sex, bar perusing, wild days, I will not talk to you. You are dead to me. So that was enough of a deterrent for journalists to lay off it until Tucker got unleashed on Twitter, the social media site formerly known as Twitter. So Larry Sinclair, let's take a peek into Larry Sinclair. I bet you, let me guess, Larry Sinclair is just been married to the same guy. He's got a business. Okay, let's take a peek. This is from 2008. So Larry Sinclair has been around for a long time. Okay, there's his mugshot. Larry Sinclair is wanted in Colorado. Larry Sinclair is wanted in Colorado. But you can catch him today at the National Press Club. Sinclair is familiar to political junkie and reporters as the source of an outlandish allegation about Senator Barack Obama. Tales that begin with sex and drugs and moved on to murder. Okay, so I remember now. He wrote a book about it. He wrote a book. So he actually has a book out called like Butt Sex with Barack. I think it's what it's called. We can check the title, but I'm pretty sure it was called Butt Sex with Barack. He's from Duluth, Minnesota. He appears at the margins of every presidential campaign. And both Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton had their own obscure accusers with dramatic allegations. Well, Bill Clinton's probably were true. But as the old media ignores him, Sinclair has taken full advantage of the internet and a video in which he makes his claims to have viewed more than 900,000 times. So since 2008, he's been saying, I had butt sex with Barack. He's reserved the Holman Lounge at downtown Washington's National Press Club to try to lend his story the legitimacy that comes with national media attention. His biography may get in the way of that pitch. Okay, so they're saying some of his personal history may conflict with him being a reliable source. Let's check. Public records and court filings, okay, that's anyone can find, reveal that he's a 27-year criminal with a specialty in crimes involving deceit. The record includes forgery, charges in 2 states, one of which drew Sinclair a 16-year jail sentence. The Pueblo County, Colorado Sheriff's Office also has an outstanding warrant for Sinclair's arrest for forging an acquaintance's signature and stealing her tax refunds. Hold on. It is what it is, said Sinclair's spokesman, Montgomery Blair Sibley, of his client's criminal record. He's not hiding from it. He's not denying it. Okay? I'm a guy who does a lot of deceitful crime, but when it comes to me talking about having sex with the most powerful man at that time in the country, I tell it like it is. I tell it like it is. And Obama, I'll tell you this much, it wasn't his first time. Because let me tell you, he worked it. He worked that fucking sausage. I came 3 times with Barack. Barack's got a clean asshole. It's clean. It's clean. Let me tell you something. People say he's got menthol lips from smoking cigarettes. Well, let me tell you something. He's got menthol anus as well, because there's a blue fucking halo around that holy ass. And you can believe me, because I'm Larry Sinclair. I did 16 years. I did 16 years in 2 states. So it's not being denied by his spokesperson here. So what I'm telling you is public record. He's got a criminal record. He had a jail sentence of 16 years. He was forging an acquaintance's signature and stealing her tax refunds. Sounds like a fun hang,
Yeah.
but not a great guy if you know him and he gets big and you get big. he may make a story up about you. But Sinclair has addressed the elements of his criminal past. So he's talked about it on his own blog and in court filings punctuated by unusual spellings and capitalizations. You don't say. This guy's not a candidate for editor-in-chief of New York Magazine? No? Addressing the Pueblo County theft charges, Sinclair swore in a 2004 affidavit that his alleged victim seeks to use defendant as a scapegoat for her husband's and brother's problems with Mexican drug dealers. This guy's hanging out with the creme de la creme. So it wasn't his fault. It was a scapegoat because her husband and her brothers had problems with Mexican cartels. Sometimes you don't have to make jokes. You can just read who the guy is. Sinclair's affidavit, which he posted to his blog, accompanied a request to a Colorado judge to dismiss the warrant on the grounds that Sinclair was disabled with a severe spine injury. I can't come to work. I hurt my back. And nerve damage. Okay, he was disabled. So he wanted the warrant dismissed. That returning to Colorado would put his life in danger because of his disability. And that he was terminally ill. This was 2008. He's still alive in 2023, and he just gave an interview with Tucker Carlson on Twitter. So terminally ill. This sounds a lot like the black guy who did his special on HBO after telling Ellen he had brain tumors in his head. He's still alive. So Sinclair. So this is funny when you go back and read this article from 2008, where his affidavit says that he's terminally ill. He has a severe spine injury and nerve damage. But he survived. A long time, too. It's 2023. He is, and this is Sinclair, who is still alive, is 46. So now he's what? This was 2008. So now he's 60s, something like that. He stands 5'7". He weighs 168 pounds, according to arrest records. Kid's got a rap sheet. Colorado records lists him having 13 aliases, including Larry Vizcarra Avila and Mohammed Gahanan. His story has generally been ignored by the mainstream media because he's been unable to substantiate his allegations. But I thought he signed an affidavit and took a lie detector test. He's come to public attention recently, however, because his planned appearance at the National Press Club drew complaints from a wider array of prominent liberal bloggers, led by whoever this person is. Their petition to prevent Sinclair from renting space at the club, which bloggers feared would lend him credibility, drew more than 11,000 signatures. Why would you stop this? Sometimes I don't understand, and I'm not even talking about who's right or wrong or if this is true or not, because I think it's true, okay? I think this is true.
You do?
I do think it's true. I think that he happens to be a con man is a coincidence.
Right.
I just happen to believe it's completely coincidental. I believe it. I believe. Especially when he said, I tell you what, it wasn't his first time. You can tell right there. That's a detail right there that you could tell he's not lying. If he takes a lie detector test on the Joe Rogan podcast or the PDS podcast or one of those podcasts and he passes, it's all that's enough for me.
He should identify Obama's dick, like the way they do.
He should be able to do a birthmark.
Do a birthmark.
He did identify the asshole. He said there's a blue halo around it. He's got the same sort of menthol ring, cigarette ring.
Yeah, his ass closed.
Yeah, his ass closed. It's a holy hole. But my point is, there was actually a lot of liberals who funded they funded like Lake and they funded some of the more extreme candidates because they knew that they would win against them. When you got a gift like this, you need to embrace it. You shouldn't try to protest to get it. You embrace it and go, yeah, maybe it's true. Let's hear him out. If I was in the Democrat war camp, I'd be like, let's grant him an interview. Like, let's bring him in.
So you're saying Tucker's working for the Dems?
Tucker's working for the Dems.
Interesting.
Tucker's working for the Dems because Tucker is too much of an honest journalist. Nonpartisan. He's just about the American people. He's about the working man, truly. That's what he cares about. I've seen, you don't know the bars I've seen Tucker hanging out in. Not one pair of boat shoes. Everyone was wearing socks and boots, drinking Miller Lights, just him at the end of the bar, singing Sweet Caroline with a bunch of goddamn SpaceX citizen blue collar workers in blue jeans. He's a blue jean kind of guy you can have a beer with and fucking eat some barbecue with, man. He's not this fucking Newport blue blood who hangs out and eats shellfish out of an Asian woman's face. It's not that. He's not up there in Newport, Rhode Island, sucking on scallops. He's down there at the bar eating chicken fingers with Dennis in Uniontown, Pennsylvania, saluting the flag and serving those people. His viewers are his people, and he's one of them, is my point. So the only excuse I can have for this is he's been bought and paid for by the Dems. Because no way he wouldn't just read this one article or go to the public records and find out that the guy had an alias named Mohammed Gahananan. Can we keep scrolling? Because this is the gift that just keeps giving. The website whitehouse.com reportedly offered Sinclair $100,000 if he could pass a polygraph test verifying his claims. He took them up on it, and the site said in a press release that the polygraph organizers said his results indicated deception. That's not what was told to me by Tucker, who administered it. The polygraph is true or false based on who administers it. So White House, obviously, it's going to come back deception, but whatever other one he took came back true. Sinclair then suggested the polygraph sponsors had been bribed to skew the results against him, an allegation his lawyer Sibley said he would expand on at his press conference. So he got one polygraph wrong, but he must have taken another one because Tucker says he took another one. It just makes sense that the guy smokes crack, man. I mean, listen, Hunter, look who his vice president is. What do you think a party, what do you think the holidays look like with the Bidens and the Barack Obamas? We're talking about trannies, coke. I mean, it's all there, dude. I mean, it's a fucking wild night. It's a real wild night. You know what I mean?
I want an invite to that.
I want an invite. I'll be honest with you. And look, a lot of Republicans want an invite to that party too. They don't want to admit it, but you got blow. You got trans. You got alcohol. You got yayo. You got bags of yayo in the West Wing. So, like many allegations, he's been accused of this by a lot of other people, right? Is there a lot of other people who have come forward and said, I also had sex with Barack Obama. I also smoke crack. Because, people who smoke crack don't usually just do it once. But hold up, before we check on that, I just want to, because this is just good. Sibley, his lawyer, is best known as the lawyer for the D.C. Madam, the late Deborah Jean Palfrey. The Florida Bar Association suspended Sibley's license to practice law, in part for being a vexatious litigant, a suspension that applies in Washington, D.C. as well. So the lawyer's got some issues as well. That's why she took the case. Wednesday, WhiteHouse.com has scheduled a competing press conference outside the National Press Club to discuss the results of the polygraph. Sinclair's brushes with the government long predate his recent interests in Senator Obama. The details of his criminal record surfaced after he filed a defamation suit against 3 anonymous online critics with the names Tube Socks Ted D, who has written, among other claims, that he was living in a mental institution at the time he allegedly met Obama.
Well, that you could just look up, right?
You could just look that up. So maybe he wasn't living in a mental institution at the time he looked at Obama. Listen, I don't know. I'm just saying, for Tucker to do this interview, I believe there's got to be something better. What is there? I think Tucker would have came out with it, right? He would have probably led with that, being like, we have this evidence. You told me where the birthmark is. Okay? We had operatives sneak into his whatever multi-billion-dollar mansion he lives in now after he got rich after public office, from being a community organizer. Now he's probably to his Netflix deals. Everyone watched those shows, by the way. What did he do? Wasn't he starting a podcast and shows and producing content? And somehow you just end up with hundreds of millions of dollars, right? Just somehow.
Yeah.
After office, you just end up with hundreds of millions of dollars.
Sometimes not after office.
Sometimes while you're in it, depending on whatever stock tips you hear down the hall. Oh my God. So he's only got one gay accuser? Is there not anyone else? How about crack? Has anyone else? I'm putting out, what do you call an SOS or a challenge or what is it? You will become a guest. I want actually in your comments for me to hear your story. It doesn't have to be true. I just want to hear your story about whatever trans crack party you were at with Obama. I want to hear about your experience or someone you've met who, or someone your mother's friends may have dated who smoked crack with Barack Obama. I want to hear it. You will not only be a guest on the Yannis Pappas Hour, I will give you $110 out of my wallet. Okay? If you to a credible story about smoking crack rock with Barack Hussein Saddam Obama. So what do we come up with?
There's only one so far.
There's only one accuser. We can't corroborate one other person who smoked crack with him. Is crack something you just smoke once, or does it kind of get its grips in you?
Not if you're Hunter Biden.
Well, has there ever been someone who smoked cracks who just laid off afterwards? Is it like shellfish? Is it like mussels where you take one and you're like, it's not for me? You know?
Yeah.
What are the chances you smoke crack once? Because what I hear is that it really gets its grips in you chemically. But I mean, if you're like a rich guy, maybe it's like an off night. You're like, hey, let's do something wild. I want to smoke crack rock. I want to smoke crack like the brothers in the ghetto. What if Obama really speaks like that, like off camera, and then he gets on camera and he's like that? We're going to make the people, and then he gets off and he's like, give me some crack. Where's my crack? Where's my fucking pipe? Where's my pipe? So the guy wrote a biography. He's wrote a book. Obviously, there's truth to this story because it's on X. So it must be. But we're on to diarrhea. Speaking of diarrhea. Now, why does it depress you that that's a news story?
Just because, this is what we're concerned with now.
This is where we've ended up.
This is where we ended up.
This is where we've ended up. Yeah, this is where the national conversation is. And truly, it's what most people are interested in.
I know.
It's does the former first lady have a penis? Did Barack Obama smoke crack and cocaine and have gay sex with a guy named Larry Sinclair who has 16 aliases and did crimes in 2 states? That's where we're at, for sure. It's the national conversation is there. Is Barack Obama an American citizen? It kind of started there. It gets hits, baby. There's nothing better than a conspiracy. We're talking about it now. We're not going to be talking about some bill and the details of a bill, right? And the stupider the population of America gets, the less they can understand the sophistication of actual policy bills, legislation, executive orders, the 3 branches of government, Supreme Court rulings. They can't understand it from the horse's mouth. They need it regurgitated, a la the game of telephone by the 4th college dropout who's got a podcast or a content page, who's trying to get clicks. It's a well-established American economy. And what's coming next is the Christian Ayatollah. Be prepared. We will elect a Christian Ayatollah who will be the head of a megachurch, who will get famous at his megachurch. He's already speaking to fucking crowds of 30. He's doing fucking bigger arenas than Dave Chappelle. He's shitting on Chappelle's weekends. It could be, what's his name? With the hair and the closed eyes.
Joel Osteen.
Could be Joel Osteen. But someone like that, there will be a Christian Ayatollah, and the Tim Dillon Show will be canceled. It will be canceled for being gay smut. It's coming. It's in America. It's in the bowels of the American spirit.
Maybe we should turn this into a Christian podcast.
We will.
Might be good for us.
And we will. Yeah. Because look, everyone's doing the conservative switch.
Yeah.
Right? What's her name? A lot of people did that. Dave Rubin. I'm a liberal gay guy trying to be a comic. Wait a second. Now I'm the gay guy on the right. They're coming for you too, because you're living in sin. He's going to wait a second. No, I thought the Republicans were okay with gays. We were until we are able to be honest about the fact that you're Satan's seed. Satan, and the eyes will look like that too. You're Satan's seed, and you're Jew. And you're Jew, Dave Rubin. You're Jew. Not you're a Jew. You're Jew. Satan's seed Jew. It's going to happen. That switch everyone's doing. Candace Owens did that switch. She was a liberal blogger. And you can't stand out as you can't stand out. Everyone's like, everyone's doing, But when you come and you go, fucking Barack Obama hates black people, people are going, let's listen to this black lady. It's a good switch. It's a good move. It's a market to be filled. I did an Orthodox Jewish podcast the other day.
Yeah,
I did.
Really?
And they're just like, we got a market. And I was like, I know you do, because you're the only ones who broke what the rabbi wanted and started a podcast and had me on, right? So they've interviewed Matisyahu, a couple other people, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. They were great guys. But right away, they got an audience because it's an underserved community. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of Orthodox kids moving their curls back like this and listening. They're moving their curls and they go, what? Whoa, did he say that? Whoa, that's not allowed on the Sabbath. Whoa. So there's going to be a bunch of people who are Jews who are going to listen to me, and a few of them might sneak my special. It was worth it for me.
They'll watch it on a Saturday.
They're watching on a Saturday. So there's premeditated moves you can make that a lot of people do make that the people are not aware of. But if they just took 1 second to think about it, you can tell who's marketing and who's not, And if you want your art to be commercials, that's where we are now. In fact, that's where we are now. Art is commercial. It's commercial. It's not done for the spirit of the soul or for the commonality of the human condition. It's done to make money with premeditated, planned moves and agendas that used to only be reserved for Madison Avenue. And you can see it everywhere. You can see it on people's independent podcasts and their brands, and people have gotten savvy and they just have become good marketers. I just threw up that video of all those people saying my name. It's almost got 1 million views. It's a shit video. It's just people going, Yannis Pappas, Yannis Pappas, Yannis Pappas. But guess what? You think you guys are going to have all the fun? Well, here comes fucking Madman Yanni. Here I come. Here comes Madman Yanni. Fifth Avenue, baby. I'm selling Coca-Cola. What was his name? Don Draper Pappas. And I'm selling you fucking satisfaction guaranteed. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for the best Patreon, most wild, uncensored, most conservative, most liberal. Let's take down these fucking right-wing Nazis. Listen, guys, they're coming for your kids. Whatever you want to believe, I'm here. They're coming for your kids. Oh, yep, the school shootings are starting. Must be an election time. Their Dems are starting that again. Federal agents, every single one of them, feds. My wife, fed. Jesse's a fed. They're all feds. Proud Boys, feds. They're all fucking fed. Gavin McInnes, Chinese spy, fed. Elon Musk, fucking fed. They're all feds. They're coming for your kids. They're coming for your kids. Also, sign up, patreon.com. Just bleep that. Right there, you got an audience. That last sentence, I got an audience. And in this economy, I got 20,000, 30,000 paying customers who want to hear what my opinions are?
Clip it.
Yeah, or if I go the other way, protect trans kids at all costs. 20,000 signed up right there. Impeach Trump. 10,000, at least 10,000. I'm in the algorithm somewhere. I'm one of the videos coming up, but this shit's not in any algorithm. I'm in the Yanni algorithm, which is just like, do you want to be surprised? Because who knows what this kid's going to say? Anyhow, I love the comments, dude. There will be people in this comment section on YouTube right now. The ones listening are the real fans. And on YouTube, we got some real fans, but it's a lot of wackadoos. You get a lot of wackadoos in the YouTube comments. There will be some YouTube comments who will try to prove to me that Larry Sinclair is the real deal. And I look forward to them. And I will do an editorial retraction based on your information that Barack Obama is a crackhead homosexual. But let's get to the good stuff, because a Delta flight had to make a U-turn, and this is how I'm going to get out of my Springfield, Missouri. I'm going to shit all over the plane. I'm supposed to be in Springfield, Missouri right now when you're watching this, but I'm probably not, because I shit all over a Delta plane. First of all, to make the news, because I'm marketing, I'm Don Draper. Listen, comic shits all over Delta plane. Comic has diarrhea all over first class. Comic shits on stewardess.
Getting better.
Comic says knock knock joke and ends with diarrhea spray in face of person sitting next to him in row 2. I'm in the news. I'm in the news. People's memories are short. I'm in the news. That's the second advantage to what I do. The first advantage is that I'm not in Springfield, Missouri. That's the biggest
Right.
pro I will get out of shitting all over my Delta flight this weekend to Springfield, Missouri, for whoever the fuck is showing up. So they made a U-turn because of a diarrhea incident. And diarrhea is spelled in a weird way here. Diarrhoea.
This is the BBC.
Say, they spelled diarrhea. Diarrhea.
Let me go to the Post. They got the juicy
Delta
stuff.
flight makes a U-turn. All right, here's America. Delta flight forced into emergency landing because passengers shit all over the place. BBC's like, somebody defecated on the floor. There was a passenger who had to go to the loo. Didn't quite make it to the loo. So they were kind of just caught up and didn't make it to the loo. And then you get to the Post. Shit all over the place. Delta flight from Atlanta to Barcelona was forced to turn around and make an emergency landing after a passenger had diarrhea all the way through the plane. The Airbus A350 was 2 hours into the transatlantic flight from Georgia. Wow, you got to make just a U-turn right over North Carolina. When the pilot asked to come back because of the fecal fiasco, this is a gift for whatever writer was on this beat. This is a biohazard issue, the pilot said. Traffic control, we got a fucking ass terrorist on flight 479. This is worse than 9/11. The pilot said to air traffic control, we've had a passenger who's had diarrhea all the way through the airplane, so they want to come back to Atlanta.
What does that mean?
I assume it means someone took down their pants and shit all over the plane.
Like all the way down the aisle.
Just all the way down the fucking aisle.
From first class to all the way to the back of the plane.
Let's get some witnesses here. The identity of the passenger remains a mystery, but the passengers and crew were transferred and they flew on a different plane. They made it to Barcelona. So it's a success story. It is not known if the passenger who had a digestive problem was aboard the plane when it touched down in Spain. Wait, they just forgave him for shitting all over the plane? He was like, can I get on the next flight now? And they're like, yeah, sure. There was a Federal Aviation Authority flight strip was posted on Reddit, which appeared to confirm the situation was a biohazard all over the plane. So if it's all over the plane, what did it back? Did he back it up and it shot all over the place? Cleaning crews were able to scrub down the aircraft. No, he shit everywhere. The company did not elaborate on the medical reason. I'm thinking this is probably a prank gone wrong or something.
Oh, yeah.
One of these YouTube pranks, like I'm going to just shit on the plane.
Yep.
Probably something like that. What do you get for shitting all over the plane?
Looks like there's no consequences.
Or I don't know if the law has been created. We'd need like a seminal legal work on what kind of charges that is. Defecating in a public, like what is the defecating in a closed area? Defecating while I don't mean, if you're in the Mile High Club, if you bang in the bathroom,
Right.
but if you shit on the plane outside of the bathroom, that's an exclusive club right there. You're talking rare air. You're talking Lionel Messi. You're talking there's not a lot of people who've done that. This guy, I assume it's a guy. I don't think a girl would do this.
Oh, it'd be good if it was.
If it's a girl, that would be great. But it'd be funny if they go back and they see that this was planned. They go back into the personality and they see all the plans, like a terrorist, or a school shooter. Like they planned their meal before and they're like, all right, I'm going to Chick-fil-A and I'm going to just fucking eat a bunch of White Castle, like 20 burgers. And like he filmed the whole thing and he had a treatise and it was like this was like a terrorist attack, except he used diarrhea. That would be fun. That would be really fun. If they go back, he's been planning this for months. He's been training his stomach to eat horrible. Okay? He was holding in that diarrhea like he got sick 2 days ago. Because you know how hard it is to hold diarrhea in? But he trained his body to be able to be poisoned by food. So he would eat, he would probably put his own fecal matter on the food and eat it just so he would have diarrhea so he could train himself. So he got so sick and he had such a backlog of so many White Castle burgers. And then he went to Taco Bell. He went to Taco Bell at the Atlanta airport just to top it off, right? And then he just drank a gallon of milk. And he just sat down like a terrorist. He sat down like Muhammad Atta with the box cutter. And they say, where are you flying? He goes, I'm Laverne and Shirley. That's probably what the terrorists do. Like, Muhammad Atta was like, where are you flying? He's like, Laverne and Shirley. Happy days. Happy days. Just studied a few words in English. I'm Laverne and Shirley. Just had a look in his face he had a look on his face with the glasses on, just waiting for the plane. And then he just went up and said, hey, this is up, hijacking this plane. I want you to fly right now to Tehran, Iran. People see shit all over me. And he was just holding people hostage with his ass cheeks. God, I want to speak to the pilot. Open the door. Open the door. And it's like, wait, don't make any sudden moves. The waitress. You shit on her. I told you. You're just praying, shooting people with shit. Oh.
Like a super soaker.
Like a super soaker. That's what must have happened. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will definitely be going to YouTube re-education camp after this puppy. Which is what they do now, is you can go to a class, right? You take a class. So now that's what they do. So if they don't like your podcast, YouTube will waive a creator's content violation form if they attend a class. Now, how do you attend the class? Is it virtual, or do you got to show up in San Francisco? Is this a new business where they're trying to revive that shithole? What is going on? They want to give content creators who violate guidelines a second chance. They believe... Take an educational training course. Oh, hi, Yannis. Welcome to YouTube's education class. Now, you beeped the word a few times when you just beeped it, right? But we know what you're saying in the context. So we are not allowing that type of behavior anymore. Okay? From now on, your podcast is going to be about this and only this. Let's see what the new policy course is explained right here. YouTube will now allow individuals warned based on specific policies they break. Instead of a general lifetime warning that covers all of its policies, YouTube says it will give creators more opportunities to learn why their content may have crossed the line. That's going to be fun with comedians. When you're going like, it was a joke, and they're going like, what's a joke? We have sponsors. Let's see.
I'm managing your creator liaison, and today I am talking with Jennifer Flannery O'Connor.
Oh,
Jennifer,
she
what are you
seems
doing
like fun.
I am the VP of Product Management for Trust and Safety at YouTube.
We just
Okay,
put
so
up a
hold on.
blog post
This lady, no
detailing-
doubt, watched our channel very early on.
Yeah.
She has got hall monitor. She's got front of the class. She's watching this right now. I love you. I think you're doing a great job. I mean, you can just tell. Some people are just the part. You can just see the power in her eyes, like just how much she loves it. And look at this cock. Let's go.
new initiative around policy, warnings, community guidelines. What is it and why?
At YouTube, we've always had community guidelines, which roughly outline what are the rules of the road for uploading content to YouTube? And we've
Oh my
always
God,
had
look at
what
that.
we call a strike system in place,
Strike
which says
system.
if you violate our rules more than 3 times within 90
It's
days,
called the
you're
Yannis
no
Pappas
longer
Hour
gonna be able to have
rules.
a channel on YouTube. But the changes that we recently announced are a way to help teach creators more about what our policies actually are. In the new system, you
Look
would
at those
get a
eyes.
warning that you violated our
Look.
policies and an option to take a training course. If you decided to take that training
This
course,
is
you would get
really
a bunch of
fucking
questions
freaky,
that were
dude.
specific to the general area of our policy that you violated to try to teach you about where the line is or is not. And also, if you don't violate that policy again in the next 90 days, that warning would be completely wiped off.
Oh,
the
that's
record.
cool.
So just to be clear, though, this update is about how the system works, right? We're not making changes to what is enforced on the platform.
Exactly. Our community guidelines
I love
themselves are
these
not
lofts.
changing at all.
Just-
And we still do feel
this how we rehearsed it?
Have 3 strikes and you're out, meaning 3 strikes and you lose your channel, because creators who routinely violate our policies sort of make the community worse for everyone.
So could you walk us through exactly maybe what the differences are between the warnings as they were and what they're going to be going forward?
We actually introduced this concept of a warning a few years ago when we made some other updates to our strike system with the
Pause it.
premise that,
We actually introduced this system once we started realizing that our children's content and a lot of big media supported content was a lot more, TV friendly, ABC, bigger money. Once we sold out the content creators who made our platform what it is and started actually showing Viacom's content on there and sort of skewing the system in their favor and the algorithm for movie promotions and whoever pays us the most money to give algorithm priority to, we decided we'd come up with a strike system for independent content creators, since we're the only dance in town, which is always good. All right, let's hear what else Crime McGriff
creators are
has.
good and they actually want to comply with our policies if they knew. And so we're going to give them an extra chance. But in the old world, we just gave you that extra chance, the warning. We didn't actually give you any means other than if you wanted to dig through our very dense help center to understand
Thank you.
what are YouTube's policies and what did I do wrong. And when we launched
Well, I
that
guess
new
that's
system,
helpful to
we
know
looked at the
what it is, And that'll be fun to have to hear someone at YouTube say the word bleep it. Cover my mouth with Joe DeRosa's face. Be like, well, at minute 47, and then you have to explain, like, you said Barack Obama smokes crack, and you're like, well, I was making fun, and then you're like, all right, is this what the class is about? Context. It's all a joke. Everything we do here is to try to entertain you, to make you laugh. We're not thought leaders. This is not a real news organization. This is a disclaimer that YouTube sent me in an email that I have to say. I am a comedian. This is all for jest. Nothing I said should be serious. I'm very, 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 very liberal. I'm so liberal, I fucking send Social Security to myself. I'm so liberal, I take food stamps and give them, I buy food stamps and hand them out to people. I'm so fucking liberal, I've moved to San Francisco to live on the street and help those people learn Italian. Guys, hope you enjoyed that episode. See me live on the road. This week, I'm in Springfield, Missouri at the Blue Room Comedy Club. Then Calgary, Alberta, September 20th and 22nd and 23rd. Fort Wayne, Indiana, September 29th and 30th. The Vogel in Red Bank, New Jersey, October 14th. Comedy Mothership in Austin, October 19th through the 22nd at Joe Rogan's Club. San Francisco, October 27th and 28th at Cobb's Comedy Club. Sony Hall, New York, November 4th. Providence, Rhode Island, November 10th and 11th. Phoenix, November 16th and 17th. Spokane, Washington, December 1st and 2nd. Tulsa, December 8th and 9th. Louisville, December 15th and 16th. Royal Theater in Toronto, March 23rd. And I will be announcing the pre-sale for my Vancouver show, theater show very soon. And also Portland is about to get booked. So stay tuned for those and be on the lookout for that. Patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for our bonus episodes. Guys, small business shout out to exclusiveautoshipping.com. You're moving your car or you bought one out of state, give them a call. Military discounts and student discounts apply. Exclusiveautoshipping.com. Shout out Jared. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. Get your cash checked in the Philly, South Jersey area with a reputable guy, as reputable as the guy who accused Barack Obama of smoking crack. Chris Minetti, 215-750-3730. He's going to hate that segment, by the way. You know he thinks Obama's a crack-smoking homosexual. ForTheFree.art. Music in Hawaii. Check it out. There's bands, there's shows up there. ForTheFree.art. It's amazing. DisplayPros.net. Use the promo code What's the Deal Is for 10% off your purchase for your booth at a show, at a trade show. They'll build it for you. Retail fixtures, promotional items, anything like that. MA Insurance Services. MA. Not Ma. It's MA Insurance Services. After the name, Matthew Albani. It doesn't stand for Ma, what's in the fridge. Matthew Albani, Ma, MA, insuranceservices.com, 813-260-0338. Ma Insurance Services can help you with anything. They offer commercial insurance policies, workers' compensation, commercial property, auto, professional liability, general liability, and umbrellas. Call Ma, MA Insurance Services at mainsuranceservices.com in the St. Petersburg, Florida area. Staffing Beaver, only the best here for these small business shout-outs. StaffingBeaver.com. Schedule a discovery call with Rob. Get 10% off by mentioning this podcast or whatever. 30-minute discovery call will save you 70% on what you're currently paying to fill roles at your company. Hire bookkeepers. This guy will hire remote workers for you and slash your costs. Okay? No office space, no supplies. Don't worry. You can still run your company with Staffing Beaver at staffingbeaver.com, at Staffing Beaver on Twitter or X. Staffing Beaver. Is it .com or .net? .com. Staffingbeaver.com. Of course, Capper Tech. Guys, this is a handicapper site. They help you figure out what to gamble on, guys. It's gambling season. CapperTech.com. You can download the app at the App Store or the Google Play Store. CapperTech.com. Check them out.